Well, I'm delighted now to be joined in the studio by the head of UK Public Policy at Consumer Choice Centre, that's Mike Salem, and also by GB News' senior political commentator, Nigel Nelson. Mike, let's start with you. The politics are a bit confusing on this. I'll leave that to Nigel Nelson. Let's get back to the key point here. Surely we should just be energy sovereign and not reliant on importing anyone's oil.
Indeed. I mean, this shows how weak and vulnerable we are on an international stage because we have failed to produce our own energy sources. And it shows the political reality that actually we need to use our North Sea treasure, which we have. We are in a very unique position. We have good natural resources to use and be able to be energy independent. But sadly, because of the renewable policy energy, we are not looking into diversifying our sources of energy. And that is taking a toll on us on the international stage and making us vulnerable.
One of Kemi Badenoch's attack points today, which I think a lot of people will agree with listening to this channel, is that why are we blocking North Sea oil and importing more oil from Russia, or indeed anywhere that the energy, the future, lies beneath our feet?
Indeed. I mean, this is the lack of consistency from the government, where we actually do need clarity. You know, energy policy is not a political slogan. It is a real national security matter and something that we feel on an everyday basis as average people. You know, if energy prices go up, we get impacted. Jet fuel prices go up, means we can't import things cheaply. It means we can't go on holiday cheaply. So it is very important for us to make sure we use that resource that we have, and we have it. So why not use it? It's just so baffling.
OK, Mike, thank you. Let's get to Nigel for a quick bit on the politics. So, listen, you were at PMQs. You're always at PMQs in the press gallery looking down upon them and say, scrap it out. In this instance, Kemi Badenoch tried to make a specific political hit that Keir Starmer is buying more Russian oil and therefore fuelling Putin's war machine and helping kill Ukrainian soldiers, which might come as something of a surprise. His biggest chum on the world stage is that fella there, Volodymyr Zelensky. Where's the reality and what happened today?
Right, it is complicated, and Keir Starmer did not explain it very well. It was still complicated after he tried to explain it to Kemi Badenoch 3 times.
That's what he does, he baffles you and bores you with detail.
Broadly, what was happening was that a load of new sanctions were introduced back in October, which related to Russian oil refined elsewhere, say India. And the idea was that these sanctions would be phased in over a period of time. When it comes to diesel and aviation fuel, the phasing in will just take longer, so we can get our hands on the diesel and the fuel for planes. So, in a sense, the sanctions have been watered down, but they are still in place.
Clear as mud. I think that's the point. No offence to you.
OK.
But
I thought that was a simple version.
No, I think the political debate on this is as clear as mud. People don't know what's going on. They don't know who's right, who's wrong. But it brings us back to the consistent theme, and that is we seem to have a government, Mike, that are ideologically opposed to being energy sovereign, when the facts show us that being dependent on tyrants, during the Ukraine war, during the current Strait of Hormuz conflict, we seem to be going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is all about energy. Energy is a very big player in development and growth, especially as we look into AI capabilities. I mean, we are talking specifically here about jet fuel sources. So it is very important for us to actually use whatever left we have in terms of being proud of what we have and what we can export and use, and be independent for once and actually be able to take care of ourselves. And we can only do that by drilling in the north, make sure that we use that. The Norwegians are using it. I don't see why we're not. And you might have a case for renewables if people pay for it independently, fine. But, you know, I don't think the government should be subsidising for it to show that it makes sense, because we are paying the price for that.
Now, Nigel Nelson, of course, the government would say, and, you know, net zero zealots would say, you know, we can't just drill, baby, drill, because we have to go into the international markets, we can't set our own prices. That's not true with gas. It may be with oil, but nevertheless, we've seen Rachel Reeves getting a bumper payday in terms of the extra revenue from North Sea oil since the Iranian conflict.
We are still drilling North Sea oil, that's the point.
Yeah,
we haven't stopped.
So we could drill more and profit, and it might pay for some of the pet projects. Well, oil is still incredibly important to our economy, whether Ed Miliband likes it or not.
I mean, that's what the oil industry would tell you, that we should drill more. Basically, 90% of the oil that we had there has now gone. We've drained that away. Well, so there's not that much left.
There's plenty left with if the taxation policy wasn't quite so punitive and it's more viable, they could spend more to get more out. That's also a point.
But obviously the direction of travel for the government obviously is net zero. Broadly, it is to try and get growth through green technology.
Well, when's that going to happen?
Well, it obviously will take time. In the same way, if you started drilling North Sea oil, you wouldn't get your aviation fuel by the time of your summer holidays. So all these things do take time. But it would create 800,000 jobs, and there's 165 billion pounds worth of business out there if we just go out and get it.
Yeah, that'll be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Thank you very much indeed, Nigel Nelson, and indeed to Mike Salem. Thanks for joining us today in the studio. It's a pleasure to have your company. Now, coming up next, locals in Crowborough are taking to the streets with volunteer patrols amid growing tensions over a nearby asylum seeker site housing hundreds of male migrants. I'll be joined by the chairman of that volunteer corps. Meanwhile, if you're in search of some holiday sun, get away fast before the air fuel runs out. Here's the forecast for some of the top European destinations.